Ain't no thing.
You can't rush the process, cuzzo.
I ain't rushing the process, but you know what I've been thinking about, right?
What?
I was thinking, we're all in quarantine, but technically you haven't been in quarantine because you go home and you come here, we record.
Mm-hmm.
What if one of us have it?
Then we both got it.
Well, that's some stuff.
Yes, and when we talk about it,
we already said coronavirus.
We said that COVID.
You think you're so clever. Hey, when we're talking about it, we're talking about the coronavirus.
Hey.
Like, yo, get out of here, man.
But we were talking about speeding things up, and one thing I want to do today is speed this intro up.
Oh, I mean, then, all right, let's go. Give me the countdown.
Let's get it, baby. 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And you are listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Asalaamu Alakum, everybody. Alhamdulillah. Welcome back to another episode of the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Yes. And today we have something very special on the agenda. Muhammad, what do we have for the people today?
The Hadith Talk.
Number 3.
The Hadith Talk.
Ooh, you. If you don't know, that's from our boys, Young Muslims Grinding. Make sure you go and check them out. Block Talk album that they just released. Very good.
Yes,
very
and for
good.
those that are listening to this for the first time, Hadith Talk is a series that we usually put out that consists of various hadiths, and we go in and we read the hadiths and we break them down in our own way.
Now, the way we go about doing this is that we each choose 2 hadiths. Now, there's only 3 hadiths that we do on the show, so we do rock, paper, scissors, decide who gets to go first, then we determine who goes second, and then we do one more intense, very strenuous game. Best 2 out of 3 of rock, paper, scissors to determine who gets to do the very last hadith.
Yes.
And that is how we do Hadith Talk.
And Jabril's right about that. So let the games begin.
All right. You guys ready? Oh, and if you want to see this, then you got to go on YouTube.
Go on YouTube.
All right. Make sure you subscribe and like. All right. Ready? Oh, hold on.
Rock,
All right.
rock, paper, scissors, shoot. 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 Okay.
I got it.
You
so I won that one.
Cheater.
Oh, man.
All right.
I don't cheat. I'm just
So what does that mean? You go ahead and are you sharing the first hadith?
Yes, I will share the first hadith. And this is a hadith that I found that was narrated by Sahih al-Bukhari. And it is about the plague. Now, obviously, you guys are sitting in your house right now because you can't go anywhere live. You can't go to work. And you can't really do or go anywhere. So you guys are we're all dealing with plague right now, the pandemic of the coronavirus. So this hadith right here is extremely applicable. All right.
Can you, because you explained to me last time, and I do appreciate the difference between an epidemic and pandemic.
All right. So a pandemic is when it's worldwide. An epidemic is when it's in this like one particular place.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, cool. Time for the hadith. All right. So it was reported that the Prophet, peace and prayers be upon him, said, if you hear of a plague in a land, then do not go into it. If it happens in land where you are, then do not go out of it. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of us are struggling with the fact that we have to be indoors. We have to be in what they call it social distancing. We have to be socially distanced from other people because the harm isn't in that you may get it. The harm is in that you may spread to somebody who may not be strong enough to live through it. Right? So right now, a lot of people are struggling with that. They're struggling with the fact that they can't leave and they can't go anywhere. But we're urging you, guys, listen to the signs, listen to the warnings that the health officials have been putting out all across the world. Don't go out. Stay indoors. Like, if you have to go out, only go out because you have to. Or if you do go out, make sure you're going out where there's not a lot of people. We have friends that we know are there trying to throw parties. They're like, dude, why? It's not necessary. Stop. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to get us all sick and yourself, and then you're going to complain later. And we don't like people that complain. At all.
I mean, I think when it comes to this, there's 2 different like major scenarios, right? The first one, so we talked about when there's a plague in the land, do not leave it, right? I mean, do not go into it. But if you've been hit by the plague, then do not go out of it. Yeah. But what if it's one of those things where you got to come home, which a lot of people did. They came home from those countries
they had no choice.
Yeah, because the borders were getting closed.
Yeah, the borders are getting closed. You have to come home. So this is basically saying once you're home and there's stuff going on, stay home.
And a lot of people that was already in the place that were affected, they came back, and what do? They self-quarantine. Like Jabril was saying, the reason why they self-quarantine was to keep that distance. They didn't, as soon as they came back from a country, from Italy, they didn't go out and just like meet a whole bunch of people, go to coffee shops, they didn't do that.
Exactly.
They stayed home, kept themselves away from anybody, family, friends, elderly, somebody that's sick with a shot immune system, because they didn't want to be selfish.
Yeah. And so the greatest risk right now is that we can pass this on to someone who is not healthy enough to survive this. So stay away from elderly people, especially people that you know may have issues with their respiratory system, lungs, and anything like asthma. Kids are asthmatic. It's just very important that we take this time to use it and be wise about where we're going, who we're in contact with, and as Mo said, not be selfish.
And to add on to that point, just because you haven't seen any symptoms or any signs does not mean that you do not have it. There's a few people right now that they say they have it. They haven't gotten the fever yet. They haven't gotten their hands trembling. They haven't gotten diarrhea, because those are some of the symptoms of corona. But that does not mean that you do not have it. Hopefully by the time we listen to this show, they'll have some kits, some testing kits that you can try. But when it comes to those home testing kits or going to the lab, let those individuals, like the first responders and elderly, I want to say go out there and get there first, but it's kind of hard to tell, like, who's already gotten, who's not.
I don't know. I mean, you have to. They say to call in about your symptoms first, and then talk to the first responders. We aren't the people to tell you. Make sure you guys are doing your research on the coronavirus and what's going on, and go from there. Follow
the CDC if you need help, and the WHO, World Health Organization. Two very reliable sources.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that was the first hadith. Stay home, guys. What is the next one, Mo? What do you got for us?
So the next hadith...
Oh, sorry, Muhammad.
Thanks, sir. Thanks so much. So the next hadith is patience, right? And the reason why I love this hadith is that because this is one of the hardest things for me to do. Not in regards to patience, but what this hadith says, especially when a calamity first hits. So it's narrated by Anas ibn Malik, says the Prophet, peace and praise be upon him, passed by a woman who was weeping beside a grave. He told her to fear Allah and be patient. She said to him, go away, for you have not been afflicted with a calamity like mine. And she did not recognize him. Then she was informed that he was the Prophet, peace and praise be upon him. So she went to the house of the Prophet, peace and praise be upon him. And there she did not find any guard. Then she said to him, I did not recognize you. He said, verily, the patience is at the first stroke of a calamity. That's by Sahih al-Bukhari, book 23, hadith 372.
What does that last part mean? Because I guess,
this part here?
We can kind of skip through the whole first part.
Yes.
But that last part, I guess, is really what is striking. What does he mean by verily the patience is at the first stroke of a calamity?
What I got from that is when you stub your toe, as soon as you hit it and you're at like the most pain, right? That's what shows like your character, what type of patience that you have. For example, there's been times, I can only talk about from my experiences where something bad has happened to me or one of my family members may have passed and the calamity just hit me. And that's when Allah tests me the most. At that point, like, am I still the same person? Am I still keeping that good Muslim character? Am I acting up? So just like, for this example, when somebody had passed that this woman knew, she didn't know who the Prophet was, but was like, hey, get out of my face. You never been through something like this. You know what I'm saying? So that was for not knowing, and then that we can do the same thing. We don't know how our emotions or what we say can treat people or who we're treating badly. You feel me? So that's what I got it from. So the biggest test of your patience is when the calamity first strikes. Because after a few days, you kind of cool down.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to be chill. You feel me?
A few days. I think
makes it easier to be patient.
I think for majority of us, we want to get that time frame down as small as possible.
Yep.
All right. There's this quote that say, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't give it more than 5 minutes of your time. Yeah. But I guess with the death, it's a little bit different.
Yes, absolutely.
However, I'm reading in Marcus Aurelius' books, Meditations, that to be fearful of death or to be angry about death is irrational because we all have to go through it. Death is a part of life. It isn't the end of life. It is a part of it. So for you to be fearful of it or to be, mad at God because someone died is counterproductive because one day you're going to die and everyone around you is going to die, and it's going to be a repeatable process from now until the end of days. So yeah, I like that. I like that, man, to have patience at the very end of it all.
And to bring this full circle, when the COVID-19, when the outbreak first came out, when the calamity first when it first hit, were people patient? Were we patient?
No, we were acting like savages, bro.
Animals.
Yo, that's all right. So I like that because it like you said, it brings it back to where people's heads were when everything first broke. That all right, you're gonna be quarantined, or you're gonna have to self-distance, socially distance yourself. People went and didn't think about anyone except for themselves.
Good
and
point.
a lot of the times, you look at the people that were hoarding like toilet paper and water, for example. They're getting way more than they need. Like, why are we buying? I had to tell my family.
It was
like,
young
why?
adults too.
Yeah, it's like why are we buying all of the this toilet paper? Why are we going to buy all this water if we can literally we have some of the cleanest water in the world, even through our tap. Even though we don't drink out of the tap because like it was not clean, you can boil your water. Like, think about it. We have the greatest privileges in the world compared to some countries.
Yeah.
To most countries, we have some of the greatest privileges. To be able to have free water,
To buy in bulk.
well, forget buying bulk, right? Let's just, I'm talking simply on the fact we have running water at home, plus the fact that we can boil it with ease. We don't have to start a fire or anything like that. We don't even think about taking those sort of steps rather than going and buying all this water.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because how many elderly people may need those bottles of water, even though they have the same ability to, draw from the tap, heat it up. It's easier for them to have water. People that have multiple kids, you know what I'm saying? We just get very selfish. And I think that actually goes into the hadith that I was thinking of, because I think that I'm going to win this next game of. You ready?
We'll go ahead and see. Another thing I want to add to the patience, because we did talk about the hoarding and the, about the resources. But I think also another thing that had to do with patience was when not only what's it called? Jummah was closed, right? Jummah prayer was closed, but just congregational prayer. And there was people legitimately refusing to not go home or refusing not to stay home and keep coming to the masjid. And then at that point, you forget at the masjid, the people that visit there on a daily basis are the elderly. You know what I'm saying? Those are people that come. So you go there and you get everybody sick because you weren't patient enough to wait 2-3 weeks until the masjid opens back up. Look what you've done.
But the people that were going were the elderly, though. So if older people are very impatient, and I hate to say this, but older people think they know everything, right? So for instance, this one imam, I'm not going to put any names out, but this one imam was like, it's foolish for us to stop doing Jummah, right? I know churches that was still doing congregations, and it's like, why? Because majority of your congregation, majority of the people there are at risk to get sick, because all of our communities are typically older. So you're putting yourself and hundreds of other people at risk because you want to show off that you want to prove the point that your faith is stronger than. Come on, man. Have faith in the fact that we'll get through this, and that you can be obedient to the signs. Read the sign. The sign is clear. The sign is on CNN all day. Stop congregating. Don't assemble in groups larger than 10. But yeah, here we are trying to go pray Asa with 20 people. Like, yo, y'all wild.
We're trying to quote unquote innovate in different ways to pray. Praying with 5-foot gaps in between.
Oh yeah, I saw that was wild.
At that point, it's like, okay, that's all.
It just looks stupid, man. Stay at home, pray with your family. If it's that important for you to pray in congregation, stay at home and lead your family in prayer.
Right. In times like this, they need it more than ever.
Yeah, exactly. All
right, on to the next one.
On to the last one.
Are we getting it? Or we just?
Oh no, I was waiting on you because I know you need to show up early to get ready. I'm chilling. I'm a champ over here. You ready?
Let me get them fingers right.
All right, let's get it.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh my! No, 2 out of 3. It's 2 out of 3.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. He played the reverse psychology on me.
Yeah, because it's all in the head, because I'm loco, man. I'm loco in the head, bro. That's how I am, man. All right, sorry. Let me
take your time. Pull out them glasses. Pull out them reading glasses.
Me. All right, so this last one is on taking care of neighbors. Now, because as you guys know, the theme of this episode is obviously what's going on with the current pandemic, coronavirus. We want to talk about how we, in this point in time, need to be really focused on taking care of those in need, and even extending a hand to our neighbors. If you have elderly neighbors, or if you have people who may not have adequate amount of food. I know for myself, I basically ate through all of my quarantine snacks within the first week, or first few days actually.
Please send help.
Help us. We're starving. It's important that we check on our neighbors, and your neighbors can just be the person, that you're talking to, via text. Like text people, check on them, see how they're doing, make sure, check on your uncles, aunts, the people that aren't as young as you, and just make sure they're all doing well. So I want to talk a little bit on this hadith, and it is called taking care of neighbors. It is said, serve God and join not any partners with him, and do good. Do good to parents, kinsfolk, orphans, those in need, neighbors who are near, neighbors who are strangers, and the companions by your side, the wayfarer, and what your right hand possesses. For God loveth not the arrogant or the vainglorious. So that is out of Surah 4, ayat 36 from the Quran. That was just a surah to go beforehand. Thanks for putting that in. I appreciate it.
No problem.
But the hadith is reported by Ibn Abbas. He reported that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, he is not a believer whose stomach is filled while the neighbor on his side going hungry. While the neighbor on his side goes hungry.
So basically, you shouldn't go to sleep with a full stomach while your neighbor that's beside you is hungry.
Yeah, basically. My fault. I don't know why I spaced. There was a bunch of the way this is
the way it's written and the way I sent it to you.
Yeah, I know. So
What'd you get from that?
I got from it, just check on people, man. If you know that you are supplied adequately and you're in good health and good standing for this whole pandemic, we don't know how long we're going to be locked up. We don't know how long we're going to have to be socially distanced. We don't know if it's going to get worse. We don't know if it's going to get better anytime soon. There's a lot of different reports coming out. Make sure you guys are staying informed. But while you're doing all that, be sure to check on some of the people around you. That's even for me, where I live at, I don't even see the people that I live around that often, right? So maybe that's for me to say, hey, let me go knock on the door and say, hey, are you doing good? Do you need anything? I don't have much to offer, but what I do have to offer, if you need it, then I got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know a lot of us probably live beside people that we never talk to, or maybe people that we used to talk to that you don't talk to anymore. Just go outside, go and talk to them, knock on the door and say, hey, we know things are kind of crazy right now. Just want to make sure you're okay. Do you need anything? Do you need water? Do you need food? If so, here's my number. Let me know. Something as simple as that can change someone's entire day, year, what have you, because they may really be in a situation where they need it.
No, I would definitely agree, especially like you mentioned, going out and helping somebody, especially if it's somebody that's older, because they don't have time to go out to the store and be exposed and go out to Walmart or just Target or whatever. There's so many people there. Also, I would say have a conversation with people. Some people are legit laid off for the next 60 days. So have a conversation with them, see how they're see how they're doing, see how they're looking to bounce back. Some of the people also, if you're a college student and you work from home or online courses, a lot of people need daycare right now. A lot of people are working from home and then looking for somebody to watch their kids because, they're not going to be able to work from remote because kids are bothering them. So you can help them in more than just financial. If financial is a problem for you, find out different ways to help people, whether it's just, social, spiritually, whatever it might be.
Look, and the other thing is that we're going to be extremely isolated at this time. So just reaching out to somebody just to check on them. I got the iPhone now for all you people that have been coming at me. I finally got an iPhone.
FT.
Take the time to maybe FaceTime some people every now and then just to check on them, because like me, I live alone, so I can go a few days without seeing a single person. So what I'm saying is check on me. Nah, but for real, it's important that we remember there are people out there that really do suffer from, mental illness and things of that nature. And they don't really know what to do with this time. Like,
good point.
They try and plug in their time so that they're on alone. And now you're in a place and position where you have to be alone. Me personally, I would love to be playing video games right now and, being able to just finish up work and whatnot. But, we want to try and do it the best we can. And hopefully these hadiths, all three of them, whether it be on the what to do in a plague, having patience, or how to treat your neighbors, they all help you guys to get through these very, very tough times.
Absolutely. They are all practical ways to stay safe, healthy, and be a blessing to everybody.
Yes, sir.
So, bro, think it's time?
It's time. It's time. Wait, how can people find us, Mo?
Yes. If you want to listen to these beautiful voices, you can listen on your major listening platforms such as Google Play, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Castbox, Spotify.
What? You guys haven't pitched that one, did you? Yeah, we're on Spotify now.
Hello. And Jabril, if they want to send us a direct message or a gift, how can they do that?
You can do that if you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Young, the letter N Muslim, YOUNG Muslim, Instagram and Twitter. Come and find us, baby.
Yes.
All right, let's wrap
this thing up.
Let's get it. So, for the last 20 minutes, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim podcast. I'm Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And we leave it with the greens of peace.
Asalaamu
Alakum.
Peace.
Stay safe, everybody. Social distance yourself.
Masalama.